I've always had a love for melancholic melodies. There's just something bittersweet about a song that is sad, but in a nice way. I feel music should be melodious, otherwise I miss the point. I don't like melodies that, well, meander too much. I prefer tunes that, get straight to the point. Music can be such a powerful conveyor of emotions. It is, and rightly so, if you ask me, called a universal language. Musical obviousness, so to speak, is an interesting and fascinating thing to me. You can get a melodic idea, and if you manage to find the built-in logic of it, you will understand the melody. And from that point, it's almost as if the song is writing itself, and you're just there to receive it. Benedicte in Wonderland was written in 2005 for a girl I went to school with called Benedicte. I also like simplicity in music. Some people may think that simplicity in music is a negative thing, that if a melody is simple, it's almost a derogatory term. I don't fully agree with this. To me, simplicity can be an asset instead of a disadvantage. It's not as easy as one might think to write a simple melody that is still nice to listen to. There's a reason the term deceptively simple exists. I have been very inspired by the great Norwegian vise author Alf Preussen. So many of his songs have become classics in Norway and often evoke a simple, everyday poetic beauty.
Noen vår smelter all is, vekkes liv i frosne gjerder. For en sommervind har sluppet håpet inn, nå som jeg vet at min skjebne er deg. Vintersang har tystnet til, mørketid har blitt til solskinn. Og en sommervind hvisker at du er min, synger at jeg er din på livets vei. Sommervind løfter meg opp, bærer meg på sine vinger. Vintersinn varmes av vår sol, sommervind kommer igjen.
Logic in music is a concept I've thought about a lot. The feeling that it appears like a melody is meant to be a certain way, as if it already exists, and you just discover it, because it's so obvious how the melody should be. The hardest part for me about composing is to get the first initial idea. When I do, it may be just a few notes. I follow the logic and then it almost writes itself. Some people seem to believe that when you're writing music, You always have an endless set of options available at all times, that you at any point during the composing can pick almost any given note, but that is not the case, at least not the way I work. Often there can be very limited possibilities, and the melody itself sets the limitations. The logic leads you in a certain direction, and you just have to follow it, otherwise I feel you're almost violating some kind of musical law. But that can also make it easier to compose, because the melodic idea dictates how you should write. I've always had an affinity for melancholy in music. In a way I can't explain. I find music that is melancholic and sentimental to be the music I like the most. I also like that the music is melodious and catchy, with a clear, distinct melody instead of being meandering and vague, without anything that sticks with you. Sometimes when I hear a melody like that, I'm thinking, get to the point. I get inspiration in many different ways. I can sit by the piano and just start playing a melody. I can get an idea into my head out of the blue while doing other things. I can hear a snippet of a melody in movies, on radio or TV. It may be just 2 or 3 notes that puts me on the trail of a new melody, or I can hear melodies in my dreams. Every now and then I wake up with a song in my head. This never happened before I started composing. It seems that if you're always on the lookout for new melodies, they will start coming to you. Seek and you shall find. Other times when inspiration does not come as unbidden, I'll try out many different melodic attempts until I finally find something usable. Sometimes when I am writing and I come across an idea which is good, I get a strange feeling. Something magical happens, and it's almost like I go into a trance. It's hard to explain, but it's as if you enter a different level of consciousness, and you become very focused and alert. Maybe that is what songwriter Brendan Graham refers to when he described his writing process as an emptying of self that leads to the other self. I think I understand what he means. It's like a different you takes over, and all your creative senses are sharpened. I'd like to finish with the story of how I got into writing music to begin with. In the summer of 1996, I bought Songs from a Secret Garden. I was 16 years old and had not settled on what I wanted to do in life. Upon listening to the songs from Rolf Loveland's Secret Garden, it hit me like a fist in the face. I wanted to compose music. I was so amazed that anyone could write such beautiful melodies. Rolf Loveland wrote in the liner notes of Songs from a Secret Garden, "It is my sincere wish that by uncovering some of my secrets, you will pay a visit to your own secret garden." That is what I did, and to my joyous surprise, I found music.